But we are on race 32 now for our men's 5,000 metre A race. They'll be lining up any minute now. They're due to go off in 1 minute's time, just under. And we've got some very fast men in this one. Callum Johnson, the fastest on paper, 13:45. Very impressive PB. We can see them lined up there in the far corner. 12.5 laps await them. It looks a slightly busier start line to what we had for the women a few moments ago. And I'll run you through that start list as we get underway. So we've got Nigel Martin, Samias Bateas, Ben Alcock, Cameron Riley, Abimildad Darude, Elias Schifris, Harry Johnson, Callum Johnson, Harry Wakefield, Christopher Fielding, Benjamin Davies, Ben Cole, Philip Winkler, Oliver Donkin, Christopher Coulson, Finley Ward and Henry Pickard. So that is your lineup. 23 athletes in this race. We've got our pacemakers at the front. And already we can see them strung out nicely. It does look like the Lithuanian athlete, Samias Bateas, at the front at the moment. He's happy in the purple, sat there. A slight gap appears already with Harry Wakefield alongside him. Back to the rest. They've got perhaps 10 metres or so as the rest of the field looks to chase them down. If they are cut adrift this early, they'll be very grateful of the help from each other, I think.
I mean, go on, Harry Wakefield. Is this a decision he's going to be proud of, or go, why have I done this? Yes, Sima Batasius, the Lithuanian, he won Watford in, it was at 7:42, which was a new national record. And I think he was very, when you get a taste of the Watford magic, we already called it the Watford Diamond League, and the BMC vibes, and you think, you know what, I'm going to come back and do an extra 2 kilometres. And Batasius, I think the Lithuanian national record is 13:17. I'm not sure who holds it, whether it's him or not. But yeah, is that what he's attacking here? Is that what he's going for? Because the 64s, that's 8 minutes through 3K. You know, he's looking for a super fast time here tonight, and I don't know if Wakefield, I don't know if he's bitten off more than he can chew here.
Yeah, we can see there's a couple of metres just starting to open up there. He's going to have his eyes fixed on the back of Bateas in front of him at the moment, but it's going to look like, I think, Harry Wakefield is going to end up cut adrift and either running on his own or hoping that a chaser decides to get on the pace and can work with him throughout the rest of this 5,000 metres.
So through the first 800 metres, maybe a tiny bit. Well, they're on the lights, so maybe it's all right. It's hard. We don't always get the picture there of the coming through that 800 metres. But if they're bang on the lights on the 64 seconds, I think that's a good indication here. And Bradley Giblin doing a great job. Joseph Tuffin, he was so close. I think he didn't get his lifetime best in the 1500. He's been agonisingly close nearly every time he's raced. But they come through the first kilometre here at 2:40, so that's bang on 64-second pace.
Yeah, good pace making there. We'll make a note of that as they continue on, see how consistent we can be once the pacemakers drop out. But Harry Wakefield certainly cut adrift now as he decided the early pace was perhaps a little bit more than he was expecting. A very, very quick athlete though, Harry Wakefield, a 3:58 miler, 7th at the UK champs over the 5,000 metres. He knows what he's doing, but just can't quite live with the pace in these very early stages. And I have to say, I think it's a wise move, Hannah. We've got a long, long way to go.
I always think when I see an athlete do that, I think fair play, it's the right thing to perhaps kind of shut it down a little bit here and just chill out. And you can see Wakefield looking over his shoulder. He'll see the white lights. Maybe that's something he'll latch onto. But I always cast my mind back and I always forget to look it up. There was an American athlete in a marathon, I think it was Chicago Marathon in the last couple of years. He literally stopped, ran back down the road to join a group and then carried on running. Because he kind of said, well, I can't stop dead because my legs will freeze up a little bit, but I can't, there's no point in running the next 15 miles on my own. Just spin around, accept that I got it wrong, and pick up the guys that potentially I should have been running with all along. But no, Wakefield, why not have a go? And that 2:40 through the first kilometre, and that's 13:20 pace. So the Lithuania is definitely up for it today.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you're up for it on a fantastic night, like we said, we heard one of our athletes, I think it was Archie Davis, say in his interview earlier, we don't know what the next night's going to be, the conditions. This could be as good as it gets for the rest of the summer. We don't know yet. So make the most of the conditions that we've got in Trafford. Make the most of the BMC. He's going for it, as he should. It's absolutely brilliant to see. So we'll keep an eye out for that next kilometre split, and we'll see where we stand from there. But he's looking very relaxed at the moment. I think he doesn't look stressed at all. Not too much strain on his face as we move through these early kilometres.
But it's easy to look like that, isn't it? Well, she says, sitting here on a chair. I'm not sure I could manage this for the first few laps. But, it is those third and fourth kilometres when you really got to figure out what's going on. And Joseph Tuffin, a great pacemaker to have in here. He's a 13:40 something man. This season he's done that, I think, over in the indoor season. So he has been in this sort of territory through 3,000 metres. But Tuffin, we're going to come up to the 2K split on the back straight here. They're looking for 5:20. What did they get? 5:20. Maybe Tuffin can give us an 8-minute 3K tonight. It'd be tough, though, front running it after a 3:39 1500. But if anyone's going to give it a go, it would be Tuffin. And I think Bertasius would need every second, every metre he can get out of Joseph Tuffin if he's going to stay on 13:20 pace and maybe have a go at that Lithuanian national record.
Yeah, he's certainly going to have it on his brain. And I think the wave lights, of course, will be a big help there. When we do lose Tuffin and the paces are out of this race completely, the wave lights will still be helpful. They'll still be there to help guide him round. And that could be something that he does rely quite heavily on, because as the fatigue sets in, the mental mass, we've tried to do the mental mass this evening, and it's been hard enough, never mind when you're running. And the last thing he's going to want is to take focus away from the job at hand. But we can see there Harry Wakefield on the white lights, like you said, Hannah. He's latched onto those, and that will be helping keep his focus now.
So I read in the preview for this event that the BMC put out that the Lithuanian national record is 13:17, but I'm going now on the world list on World Athletics website, and it's down as 13:34 to Sastasius back in 1981. So I don't know. I think maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Bertasius is way under Lithuanian national record pace. I mean, I think he could be on for a 13:20, but I'll try and do a bit more research as the race unfolds. But I don't want to miss the action. And Bertasius he's lost Joseph Tuffin here, and he's going to have a long run for home here as those lights just start to ease away from him.
Yeah, they've just started to sneak ahead, haven't they? And I think you're right, Hannah. He needed that pacemaker there. Tuffin was really, really helping him, and as we are in that middle section now, this is where it's going to get hard. He's really got to keep his head in the game. He's got to stay focused if he wants that Lithuanian record. Once we find out exactly what it is, whether it's a 17 or the 34, around the 13-minute mark, he's going to definitely want to hold on to that. And those wave lights, he can't let them become too distant. He needs them at least in his eye line. Easy to see, easy to work towards, even if he's not on them exactly.
All right, Wikipedia says Alexandros Atipovas 13:17 back in 1979. Wow, that is a long, long time ago. So, Wikipedia versus World Athletics, who knows? But so we might not be able to. Whereas we can say Ben Sandilands ran under the world record in the T20. To have two such wildly different Lithuanian records listed. And everyone tells you shouldn't cite Wikipedia if you're doing anything serious in your life, so I don't know which one to go by.
That's very true. However, if we're going by the 13:17, he's definitely got under 13:34 if he does that. So maybe if we have the 13:17 mark and we can celebrate then, we know that he would have definitely done it if that's something that he's capable of this evening. But we'll have to see how it goes. He's still making his way through, and Harry Wakefield giving chase as much as he can. He's sticking to those white lights as much as he possibly can. He doesn't want to let them creep away too much, otherwise it's going to be a very, very lonely run now.
There's a good chase pack going on there behind Schifris of Denmark leading the athletes there, and it's great to see quite a few packs all working together there. But it was a 2:45 third kilometre for the Lithuanians, so 8:05 through 3K, which is still super impressive. And he ran 7:42 at Watford, so hopefully he feels all right running that 8:05. And but it is a long, lonely run here for Bertasius, and he's going to have to really find something in the last K if he's going to stick on that 13:20 pace, and then, like we say, split the difference perhaps between the what Wikipedia says at 13:17 and what World Athletics says as 13:34 for the national record.
Yeah, I wonder if there was some difference in the ratification process or something that we've not.
Well, yeah, maybe
upon,
maybe 1979 doesn't get ratified.
Doesn't get ratified for some
too
reason.
long ago.
But yes, he's moving very well, and I've got to say, still looking very fluid. We don't want to see him tie up too soon, and he is working very hard if he's going to be on his own. So I'm impressed actually to see that this is where we're at the moment, and that he is only 5 seconds slower in that third kilometre is something that I'm very impressed by.
Yeah. Keep our eye on those paces and how it's working. There's a number of lights out there for all the different athletes that's going to help them, and I don't think we did get shared we didn't get the insight into what the different coloured lights were set at. We had what the pacemakers were going to try and run each lap at, but it's great to see we've got a white light out there that Harry Wakefield is sticking to, and there was a red light further back that looked like a whole cluster of men were keen to keep a hold of that.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why these BMC events again are so good, because when we do have a stretched field like this, it still caters to the different abilities within that field. So it is an absolutely brilliant way the organisers have managed to get this to run, and it's absolutely fantastic for us.
I'm really impressed with Harry Wakefield, who's just ticking off the laps on his own, all on his own. You've got that big pack there. I know it's not cycling, but I do love making cycling references. And you've got Harry Wakefield out there kind of being dropped from the breakaway, wallowing on his own, and you'd think a pack should be able to catch him up. But Harry Wakefield, I love the way he's sticking to his task there. He's a local man. He's from Salford Harriers. You can hear those athletes, these other athletes and spectators cheering him on as he goes through the start-finish line. But he's had a lonely run here. There he is. He's just coming through. Again, as we did in the women's race, it's worth keeping half an eye on that gap. It's around about 60 or 70 metres at the moment between Harry Wakefield, who's down in second place, and Patasius, the Lithuanian, the long-time leader here. He found something special in Watford. Is he going to do the same thing here as he approaches the 4 kilometre mark? Or is he gone past the 4? I cannot keep up with these laps, can I?
I believe we've gone past the 4K mark, but we'll soon find out. We'll soon find out. I think we are into our final kilometre. If my maths is correct, we were around about the 250-ish sort of mark for our leader in that 4th kilometre. So we'll have to see. I think the pace dropped ever so slightly, but we didn't get an exact look at when he crossed that line, so it was a bit of an estimate. And we are relying on my maths, which hasn't been put to use properly for about 5 years.
So we think this is 500 metres to go for the leader here, and we'll try and get a clock on his last lap, or we'll try and figure out what he could do here. I think that 13:17 not possible here today for Simas Patasius, but perhaps that 13:34, the one that's listed on World Athletics, very attainable here as the Lithuanian takes the bell in 12:34. He's going to need a 60-second last lap. Is he going to go for it, or is he too tired?
I did see a slight injection of pace, but I've got to say those white wave lights have been catching him up in that final, or penultimate lap, I should say. But he does look like he's picked it up slightly now as he is making his way down that back straight for the final time this evening. I've got a clock running on the final lap, so hopefully we'll get a split on this final 400 metres. But he is heading down now. It's a slightly darker picture there because of the big screen. But now 200 metres to go. And he's moving well. He has tried to really inject the pace. You can see the cadence is what's picked up there. His knee lift is very, very similar. His running style is very similar. He's hardly faulted in that at all. But the cadence is what's picked up, and the speed has been injected in this final lap. Into the home straight then for our long-time leader. Patasius makes his way towards the line. He's been chasing the Lithuanian record. I think that mark is going to slip away. The 34, unfortunately, out of reach as well, but 13:37 this evening. It was around about a 64 second final lap, so pretty good going for a solo 5K. And now Harry Wakefield makes his way across the line of 13:48. And that is pretty impressive as well, given how much he was on his own. And 13:48 is a nice personal best for Harry Wakefield to take home.
I think I had Patasius down as at 13:48 for his lifetime best, so he's knocked a nice chunk off that as well. 11 seconds, and great to see him come back and take another win here at a BMC event. It was wonderful to see him in the 3,000 metres in Watford, and great to see him put a masterclass on here in Trafford as well. Men flooding across the line underneath the 14:30 mark here, just to conclude the men's 5,000 A race.
Yeah, some brilliant performances, and I mean, they are some significant PBs. At the top, people at the top of their game, still getting 11-second personal best is really quite impressive, and again goes to show the quality that we've had here in Trafford. What a return it has been to the Trafford Athletics track, given the 2-year absence that we've had while this track's been relayed. The athletes will be so pleased that this fixture has returned, and it's been a phenomenal timetable of performances.
It really has, and I've loved this extended 2025 season sort of across the board. I know it's driven by those World Championships in Tokyo. Everything sort of bows to the senior elite schedule, if you like, and the BMC programme, it always has a meet here in August, and I think we had over 400 entrants here tonight in Trafford, and that is a record for the final in a Grand Prix series over the years. So hats off to the athletes for turning up, and hats off to Trafford for bringing a lovely sunny evening as well. We did have wind when we had those steeplechase races at the start of the programme, but it does look like it's settled down here through the night.